Hello AP Biology students, we're going to go over the 14th section in Unit 2. And in this section, we're going to go over something called amplification. Before we get into what amplification is, we have two different types of enzymes that we have to know about. First is a kinase enzyme, and this is an enzyme that transfers a phosphate group from one molecule, usually ATP, to another molecule. You can see in our reaction there is a protein that's going to be targeted by this kinase, and it's going to use a phosphate group from ATP, making it ADP, and it's going to steal that phosphate group and place it on the target protein. I don't know who made this meme, but I absolutely love it. You can see here again a kinase, a protein minding their own business, and then that kinase using ATP to phosphorylate the protein. Phosphorylation just means the addition of a phosphate group. On the other hand, phosphatases are enzymes that remove phosphate groups from proteins. So again, you can see our target protein with the phosphate group. The phosphatase is going to remove that phosphate group, and you can see it's going to leave that protein without its phosphate group. Another quality meme, phosphatase taking that phosphate group away. Now, typically phosphorylation activates proteins, and this is usually done by that phosphate group changing the shape of the protein in some way. But it's not always the case. Sometimes there will be proteins that are deactivated or shut off through phosphorylation. But again, most of the time when we add that phosphate group, that protein will change shape, activating it in some way. What these enzymes allow your cells to do is to amplify a signal through something called a phosphorylation cascade. This is where a series of kinase enzymes are going to keep on adding phosphate groups one after the next after the next. And what happens at the end of this signal is there's going to be some huge cellular response. I always kind of think of a bucket brigade with this phosphorylation cascade, where each of these people is going to be an enzyme or a kinase that just furthers the message along the line. But that bucket brigade analogy really doesn't do it justice, because at the end you're going to have some huge cellular response. This is how a small target ligand can activate one receptor that activates another secondary messenger, and through these activations of different kinase enzymes, you're going to have some cellular response that's amplified even though the target signal was only maybe one molecule. So again, this is just a way your cells use a signaling molecule and amplify it to respond to an external environmental change very quickly. And our last meme, some signaling molecule, huge amplified cellular response, classic.